Hello, y'all. Welcome to Jackalope Tales, Urban Legends in Music, where we uncover, is it real or is it a jackalope tale? I'm your host, Charles Mooney.
And I'm Lisa Umbarger. And also with us today are our production crew, Jenny.
Hello.
Jeannie. Bonjour. Natalie.
Hello.
And on the board, the inventor of the body shot, Sam.
How'd you know that?
You know how I know that? Because spring break is right around the corner.
Oh, listen,
Yeah.
I know.
That's where
man.
body shots happen.
That's where a lot of stuff with the body starts going on.
Thousands of college students are going to fill every beach with discarded Corona bottles and soiled underpants.
Oh.
It's a rite of
You're going to have old people hating it.
Right.
Leaving town when all of the kids start invading.
Right. It's a rite of passage of drunken melee.
Oh, yeah, yeah. In this episode, we're going to kind of focus on the bad part of spring break.
Right. The MTV part of spring break.
Yeah,
because they took it up a level that will never, ever, ever be recreated.
Yeah, so we're calling this episode Spring Broken. Because these weren't, great times always. So, and we got to even experience in Toady days a spring break at fucking Daytona Beach.
Yep. The host was, again, MTV.
Oh, God. They did that for quite a few years in the late 80s, early 90s, where they went to Daytona Beach so much.
Yep.
And it was like a whole week of constant debauchery, just craziness.
And we were invited to come and...
I think it was 92?
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
That late?
Yeah.
So we got to go and experience it from the band side.
Uh-huh.
We won a regional contest.
Yeah, it was for Best College Band.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God. That's pretty scary when you get to go just because you're a college band that hasn't been signed, and then you're going to be thrown into all this chaotic shit.
And the weird story about this is we didn't enter ourselves.
No, you're right.
Someone entered us, and we don't know who. So they thought it would be funny or whatever, and they liked our tape, and we performed at UTA.
Yes.
University of Texas in Arlington.
Yeah.
Here, and we won.
Yeah. And we got invited to Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
For a few days.
Right. Where we played against all of the other regional winners.
Yep. I think it was the Dodge Rockin' Campus Bash.
Yeah, that was insane.
And we actually have video of it. It's even on my YouTube channel, just under the name Charles Mooney.
Well, we need to make that available with the Jackalope thing. We'll see what we can do. Because it's crazy.
Because it has us playing or doing interviews in Arlington, and then when we won, and then little snippet of us in Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
God.
I think we were drunk by the time we took stage.
Well, I mean, God. The things I remember most about it was, of course, hot as fuck.
Yep.
The cars were going up and down the beach. I mean, all these college Jeeps and shit were going up and down the beach, making it like concrete.
Yeah.
And so there was no sandcastle sand.
No.
Out there. It was just hard-ass sand.
In fact, we were talking about this. Not once the whole time we were there did we go to the beach.
No, and I think you're right. We didn't even take our swimsuits.
I know. We didn't get in the pool. We didn't go to the beach. We stayed up in the hotel area where all the action was happening, and there was a lot of famous people and bands.
Oh, yeah. They did keep us busy with like some different things that we had to do. But yeah, we didn't even fucking put our toes in the water.
No. We ran into a drunken Pauly Shore.
Oh, God. Yeah.
The LA Guns. Remember LA Guns?
Oh, my God.
They were wearing leather, full leather at the beach.
Oh, God. I mean, once metal, always metal, I guess. But,
keeping it real.
Oh, yeah. I just remember being kind of almost sunburned and having to play and just feeling,
And we'd had too many beers because they were a lot of beers around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they kept giving it to us. So it got rowdy.
It was a jacked up scene.
We played against a reggae band.
Yes, there was reggae. There was even a metal band.
That was like a Metallica tribute. They weren't Metallica tribute, but they sounded like Metallica.
Yeah. And I remember one of them was like a biochemist. Studying in school. So it's like, if that's not stereotypical of like a member of a metal band being a science guy.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think they're the ones that won.
They won and they were great.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
It was a fun time. But
I don't like competing against bands.
No.
Unless it's Henry Rollins and it's leg wrestling, because I would have him every single fucking time.
You would have stayed sober for that one.
I
don't know. I mean, it may have been more.
I'll take him.
Yeah,
drunk,
you
whatever.
could do anything.
Right.
Yeah. Just the sheer will of you to bring him down.
Yeah, we firsthand got to watch all of the debauchery because it was insane. I've never seen so many naked people in my whole life.
Drunk, naked, just
insane.
God.
It was like, I
and
was going to say organized
as fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say organized chaos, but it was not organized. It was just completely off the chain chaos.
Yeah.
There's puke in the lobby and in the hotel hallways.
Oh,
and
God.
It was a nice hotel.
Yeah.
Before it all started.
Because it was right there on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had fountains, and it was just really pretty, and a nice restaurant attached to it.
Yeah.
With naked people vomiting everywhere.
Welcome to Florida.
Right.
Oh,
Ooh, it was nuts.
Yeah. Well, the story I'm going to talk about happened actually very recently, March of 2023.
Okay.
And it involves the drummer of Def Leppard, Rick Allen.
Oh, wow.
The one without an arm.
Yep.
He doesn't have his left arm. He had lost the arm in a car accident on New Year's Eve in 1984, so he'd not had an arm for a good while, but then he still drums. They made him that special kit to play.
With the foot pedal.
Yeah, yeah. So Def Leppard was performing at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Fort Lauderdale. So big place to be for spring break.
Yep.
So Allen went outside to smoke, and he was standing near the valet at the Four Seasons Hotel where they were staying.
Nice hotel.
Very nice. So he's just out there leaning up against a pillar having a smoke. And there is a 19-year-old spring breaker named Max from Ohio.
Oh, Max. I know him. From Ohio.
Dick. So he was hiding behind another pillar and suddenly ran full speed towards the 59-year-old Rick Allen.
Man.
Allen was knocked to the ground and hit his head on the cement, which caused some pretty major injury whenever your head slams into concrete.
Yeah. So was the kid stalking?
They didn't say anything about stalking because, in fact, before he even did this, he had busted up some car windows in the parking garage.
Right.
There were things he had done which just showed he was just a fucking idiot.
So Rick Allen was just kind of like, it was an opportunity to do bad shit.
Yeah, I think so.
It could have been anybody.
It could have been anyone. And then after he was hit by this guy and fell to the ground, a woman even came running out from the hotel to help Rick Allen. But Max then allegedly turned on her, started attacking her as she tried to get back inside the hotel. So it sounds like this guy's just on a fucking bad...
He's on bath salts.
Literal trip.
It's in Florida, bath salts.
Too much sun, no SPF 50. Something's wrong.
Gator testicles.
Yeah. So Rick, of course, was rushed to the hospital to be treated. And so when they were getting him up to the emergency room so they could check on him, make sure everything was okay because he was knocked out. But he woke up on the gurney as it was being wheeled to the emergency room. And he starts panicking and starts screaming that he's in pain. And then he's saying he thinks his arm is broken.
Oh, God.
I know. He's only got one arm.
I know, that's horrible.
To have that one broken. But
how would he wipe his butt?
That's what roadies are for. Well, once they got him into the emergency room, I mean, they start to lift him off the gurney and onto the table, and he starts screaming, wait, my arm's stuck. And his arm, the one he has, I mean, everything is free. I mean, it looks fine.
Right.
It doesn't look broken. And but he's screaming about how his arm was stuck in the gurney as they were trying to put him on. And it was really baffling the doctors because they're like, your right arm looks uninjured. You're fine. But then he kept continuing on screaming about how his arm was broken. And then doctors are like, maybe he's just he's okay.
He's got a head injury.
Yeah, maybe. And so they're not even sure how to take this. But then the tour manager, Mike of Def Leppard, he shows up right at the hospital after all this has happened. And the doctors are updating him on Rick's status. And then they also mention that it's like, what's the deal? Because he's talking about his arm.
Right.
Well, as it turns out, Mike explained to the doctors that Rick sometimes, maybe like when he's asleep or sometimes if he's had too much to drink, he ends up having a phantom arm.
Oh, my God. What the fuck?
And it is a known thing where if someone has had an arm or they've had a leg for a good point in their life and they lose it, they still at times will feel like it's there.
Okay, that is crazy.
It's a weird analogy, but it's have you ever heard of the ghost tail on a dog? Because if the dog loses its tail, it still thinks it's there. It's the ghost tail.
How do we know we can't talk to the dog?
Because they keep reacting to the tail.
Oh, okay.
No, the dog's going, my tail. Yeah, but just like that, Rick sometimes thinks his arm is still attached.
Oh, my God.
I know. And I was like, is this real? And I even looked it up, and it's like, I see documented evidence where people have lost a leg or an arm. I even found where one girl had her arm removed for something, and she keeps it in her freezer.
What?
Because she's mentally thinking she likes the feeling of ice.
What?
And
okay.
I think it was in England, but
yeah, because that's not legal here.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. So Max, of course, was arrested. And they did press charges. Rick wanted to press charges on him. And he was charged with 2 counts of battery, 4 counts of criminal mischief, and a count of abusing an elderly or disabled adult.
Oh, no.
It's kind of weird that they put elderly and disabled adult together into the same charge. But it's funny because Rick later said in an interview that he was just standing there and then he hears a couple steps and then all of a sudden he just sees a flash and suddenly he's landing on his backside on the concrete and his head hit the pavement.
Oh, my God.
And Rick was saying that he doesn't think that the guy even knew who he was, but he must have seen that Rick wasn't a threat to him because he only had one arm. So the guy's like, I'm going after this one arm guy. And
fugitive.
So he was prosecuted. I don't think there's been a hearing for him or that I've been able to find. But
so it's still in the court system.
It could still be in the court system. But he just sounds like, basically a standard drunk spring breaker.
That's crazy.
Oh, I know. Luckily, no one tackled us when we were in Daytona Beach.
It would have been fun, though.
Oh,
Maybe you
God.
should have, like, pinned your shirt sleeve
Well,
up.
I should have been tackled because I'm in that video I talked about. I'm wearing a camera around my neck. I look so much like a fucking tourist that should have labeled me to all the jocks that I'm like, oh, go after that guy because he's got a camera on his neck.
Oh, my
so
God.
that should have labeled me, but luckily it didn't happen. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so much fun.
Oh, the good old spring brokens.
Until you have a phantom limb.
Oh, God, I know. Can you believe that? But what do you have going on today?
Well, I have an MTV contest. You remember how they used to have all those crazy-ass contests for spring break?
Oh, I
Like,
do.
You could win a John Cougar Mellencamp pink house.
Oh, they would promote it so much.
Right.
Between videos, and yeah, they really would hype it up.
So there was one contest they had for spring break. It was in 1987, and it was very ill-conceived, or should we say licensed to ill-conceived.
Ooh, there you go.
So here's the concept. The Beastie Boys would break into your house, break into the house of one lucky winner, and kidnap them, whisking them off to Daytona Beach for a weekend of craziness.
You know what? I actually remember this being a commercial on there. This was right as License to Ill was fucking blowing up.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about a crazy ass college town with the Beastie Boys.
With the Beastie Boys.
I mean, and they had like that inflatable dick come out of the stage on that tour.
Yep.
It's just drinking beer and all that chaos.
Shenanigans.
Oh my God. And here they are setting up a contest.
Yeah. And the contest is called Beastie Boys Body Snatchers. All right.
This screams trouble.
So needless to say, the surprise vacation did not age well.
Oh, no.
And it's because of mostly the commercials. Well, actually, the whole freaking thing was nuts. So the promo for the show, and I went back to watch them because they're still on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
It's freaking hilarious, and I remember it. So the promo for the show, the first one is they sneak into a woman's bedroom and try to kidnap her. And it's funny because one of them, I don't know which one, is wearing the Hamburglar mask from McDonald's.
One of the Beastie Boys?
One of the Beastie Boys is wearing the Hamburglar mask, and it made me laugh really hard.
God.
Anyway, so they sneak into a woman's bedroom and try and kidnap her. And then the second one is they sneak into a bathroom and try and kidnap a girl.
Holy crap.
And so she's like sitting on the toilet and they look over the...
No.
Yeah, look over the stall. Yeah, while she's doing her business. None of that has aged well at all.
No.
And evidently they thought it was appropriate for 1987 kids like me.
God. Yeah, right.
But the actual winner was a dude. It was a guy that the Beasties gave a nickname to, and they called him Drunken Hero. So all weekend, this is what they called him. And whenever they would go to the Beastie Boys, they were partying, and it was crazy.
Oh, my God.
And they kept talking about Drunken Hero. His real name is Mark Werner, and he was a mattress factory worker.
No.
So he was having lunch in a restaurant. And three guys, the Beastie Boys, run up to him, throw a bag over his head, and carried him away in a van to party.
Holy crap.
That's how the show started.
Oh, my God.
So basically, they spent the weekend reenacting the video Fight for Your Right to Party. I mean, it was crazy. Do you remember any of this?
I don't remember the specifics of it.
You can't even hear what anyone's saying because whenever the Beastie Boys are trying to talk, they're screaming and yelling.
God.
They're in the hotel room because this is at the beginning of MTV taking over the beaches for spring break. So there were no rules at all, and no adults there to tap the brake anywhere, not even the producers.
Oh, God.
So it got really, really crazy. At the party that was actually on TV, people were having sex on the dance floor, and the Beastie Boys got the contest winner drunk, put him in a hot tub with a bunch of girls. And the footage that did survive from this party shows that they had some electrical stuff really close to the hot tub.
Oh, no.
And one of the Beasties noticed and like real carefully like pushed it off of the edge of the hot tub the other direction so no one died. But there were several moments where it could have gone either way. Like seriously.
Crap.
It was so crazy. Also, if you going back to look at the footage, because it's just little snippets because someone was running their VCR and got parts of it.
Oh, that's how I did all that stuff.
So it's real staticky and gross VCR version of it. But it's so cringy. All of it is so cringy. It's very, very hard to even look at.
Oh, my God.
Because it's crazy.
And that wasn't that long ago, but that was like... That's what they were striving for during their spring break stuff. They wanted something that was so hard edge.
Right. And the Beastie Boys were trying to be that.
Oh, that's what they wanted because they wanted those guys in that in the video Fight for Your Right to Party that were screaming and throwing shit around.
Right.
That's what they wanted. That would get audiences.
Right. So the contest winner, Drunken Hero, is treated to orgies and way too much liquor to the point where several people got alcohol poisoning. The contest winner was also given a jar of Vaseline and told to get crazy.
Oh, God.
So everything was amping up, and the chaos got bigger because they were acting for the cameras, Every time a camera was around, it got even more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So what was supposed to be a weekend trip for the contest winner ended up to be a 5-day trip.
Oh.
Because... the Beastie Boys and the MTV producers lost Drunken Hero for 72 hours.
No.
Disappeared. They couldn't find him anywhere. He later showed up at the hotel lobby, sunburned with a shaved head and a tattoo on his stomach that said, "Beer goes here," with an arrow pointing to his mouth.
Oh, shit. Can you imagine how many bad tattoos there were?
Oh, my God.
Done on spring break.
How does he explain that? So
oh, my God.
His grandkids, because now it's grandkids probably.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to explain this to his grandkids because he was 20 at the time. That was 1987.
He's going to be the guy that always wears a shirt at the pool.
Always.
Unless
he's like totally living the life now because he's like, you know what? Beer does go here. Get me a beer, Sally. And he sends the grandkid out.
He's living his life and always reminiscing about that old day thing.
Floating in the blow-up pool.
Oh, God.
So there's not a whole lot of information about where he disappeared to. He can't remember. He cannot remember at all. But it appears that he had a good time.
Oh, damn.
And he did live through it.
Oh.
Although when he returned home, he was no longer working at a mattress factory.
No, shit. No way.
Yeah, so poor Mark lost his job.
Unexcused absences.
Right. Because he was only supposed to be gone 3 days.
Well, I hope that 5 days made it worth losing his job.
I know, right? You know that had to be just epic, crazy bullshit.
Oh.
It gives me anxiety to think about it right now. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. No.
I couldn't do it.
No, I would have fought back. I wouldn't have been kidnapped.
No, I know. Don't put a bag over my head.
Are you suffering from high-quality podcasts? You see, quality podcasts stimulate parts of your brain, leading to an irksome condition called thinking. But suffer no more, my friend. Introducing Discount Storytime's blend of fictional nonsense and rancid gibberish to provide soothing relief. Try Discount Storytime today. Available on most podcast catchers and at discountstorytime.com.
Consult your healthcare provider before listening to Discount Storytime. Not intended to treat unicyclitis, pickleball liver, or jittering expectations.
Yeah, it's amazing what they could get away with back then. And it's just so wrong.
There's one scene where he's in a shower. Actually, the Beastie Boys are in a bathroom yelling at the camera, and they're totally loaded. And they talk about Drunken Hero, and they pull back the curtain.
Yeah.
And Drunken Hero's in a shower with like 3 girls.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Oh, God.
Don't do that. I hope you're okay, Mark.
Well, I definitely hope that spring breaks nowadays are a lot more sane than they used to be.
Well, they are, because now everyone has cameras.
Oh, that's so true.
I think that's why we no longer have MTV Spring Break.
And it's hard to get a job.
Yeah, it's so hard to get a
hopefully
job.
everyone shows back up to work when they're scheduled. I know I'd make sure of it. I like health insurance.
We sound old.
I know, God, I was just thinking that too. And I'd take a bunch of SPF 50 with me too.
Definitely.
No skin cancer on me.
No melanomas. The song we've come to know and love.
Yeah.
It's the Lone Star Salute, everybody.
Yeah. We're definitely excited to share some negative reviews.
We're going to read some 1-star reviews about bands, documentaries about them, music, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with music.
Yeah. And just let them get it off their chest and inform us all about the bad experience they had.
All right.
The one I have, it happened to take place during a spring break. And the person that wrote this is named Danger Days, D-A-Z-E.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know he's legit.
Yep, totally.
So
Totally.
he was on spring break, not at a beach, but he was on spring break in Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slopes.
Yes. Yeah. And so he was going to a show by a band called The Story So Far. Have you ever heard of them?
No. I don't know who that is.
I just listened to him real quick, and it was almost kind of like a Blink 182 kind of band.
Okay.
Decent following. So Danger Days, he's on spring break in Denver, and
Okay.
he's going to go see the band at the Mission, some club there.
Okay.
So he goes on to say, dude at The Story So Far, the band, their show ripped my tragus ring because he decided to grab my head to push up to crowd surf. Now, I had to Google it. I'm not the most up on jewelry and piercings.
Okay.
But the tragus ring goes right inside your ear, right near the canal. It goes like in the cartilage right there,
Ow.
inside the ear. He goes on to say, this wasn't the kind of jewelry that you could just remove. It had a screw back to make sure it stayed on. But the dude pushed so hard, the jewelry completely ripped through. Blood everywhere. Spent most of the show in the bathroom crying and trying to clean up. Fuck that guy. Fuck the Mission. Fuck The Story So Far. Fuck spring break.
Man. You know what? The only one who should be fucked is the dude who was crowd surfing.
Oh, I know.
No one else did that to him.
I know.
Or
but
maybe the piercing artist who didn't get that tragus ring in there too good.
I don't know what it was, but then again, to have some guy use your head to push up, that's jacked up.
That's when you just go right up with your fist and hit him in the nose.
Especially when he's using the inside of your ear to push up.
So I'm short because I always end up the person that they use for leverage to get up on top of the crowd. It's not a quick jump.
You need a shirt that says "Use me for leverage."
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry you had to be that person.
I am that person, so that's why I don't have a tragus ring.
Well, don't get one by all means.
Oh my god.
So this guy was pissed. He had a bad spring break. So
I mean, do you have to get that sewn back up? That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to take tons of tissue paper and stuff it in your ear for a few days.
Maybe he has to get a fake ear. It's like Rick Allen's missing an arm. This guy has to get an ear, and he has phantom ear.
Yeah, phantom ear. He's keeping going. What? What?
I keep hearing voices, but it's really far away.
On my right side. Yeah. Oh, what do you have?
Well, I have a review of the Beastie Boys story, that documentary that's on Apple.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So this is
I watched that. I loved it.
I loved it too. I really did. Directed by Spike Jonze. And I thought it gave us really good insight into the band. And I really did like it because it was a tribute to their fallen member,
Yeah.
Adam. And so anyway, so I thought it was a great documentary. And I liked the presentation, so it's not like any other documentary.
It was done really well.
Right.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah. This is a review by Roger Moore, and he says...
Wait, James Bond?
Not James Bond, probably. I'm guessing it's a different Roger Moore.
Okay.
So he says, story plays out a bit like the band itself. It peaks early, hits its giddy stride during the blur of sudden fame, notorious personal appearances, and all for a goof-off, and then fizzles out utterly.
What?
I didn't think so, but anyway.
Nah, but go ahead.
Then
we'll let him talk.
Then he goes on to say, proving themselves quote-unquote legitimate in later years is vindicating, but dramatically dull. And sometimes a charming victory lap around the Brooklyn Theater doesn't erase the faint odor of privilege and cultural appropriation
Oh my God.
that always hung over them, punk rap mashup or not. So this guy, I totally get that, where people were saying that these kids had it easy, and I think it did come out in the documentary that Russell Simmons just wanted some white rappers.
Okay. Yeah.
And he liked these 3 kids, and it's like, man, I can do anything with them. If I get some white kids rapping, it's going to crack open the door for rap. I think maybe that he might be alluding to that.
Okay.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, in my mind, it's like that first album, the true first album, Licensed to Ill, because there was like that the other singles before that. They showed their ability with like Paul's Boutique and on. When the record label wasn't happy with them. Right. Yes, that first album was done by Rick Rubin. And they provided the beats and basically set it all up. But I'm sorry, but Paul's Boutique and on, fucking amazing.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I agree.
There's credibility.
I
right
love
there.
that they play their instruments.
Yes.
And there's not very many rap bands that do that.
No.
And that's one of the things that makes the Roots beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to see musicians play. And I'm fine with rappers. I love rap. I've talked about it a lot on the show. Yeah. But man, when you're playing an instrument, it's next level for me.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, on their albums, it'd be rap, and then they'd throw in a fucking kick-ass punk song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, damn.
Did you ever see them live?
No, I never did. Did you?
I saw them at Lollapalooza.
No, really?
And
was it when y'all were playing?
I don't even know if I was in a band then. It might have been before Toadies. I don't know. I can't remember when. Yeah. But holy crap. We snuck down to the front, and it was so crazy. I can't even describe how crazy it was. It was really good. The sound was good. They were so energetic, and the crowd was pumped. Oh. So it was really good.
What an experience.
It was really good.
That's cool.
So I'm glad I got to see him live.
Yeah, no shit. Lucky you.
Yeah. Well, we're to another happy ending.
We've reached it.
Yep. And I think I said this before, but I think MTV Spring Break fizzled out because everyone has a cell phone now. And it makes me kind of sad because I kind of want some crazy in the world that's not political. Just, some go to the beach, be naked, drink a Corona, and wear one of those Mexican blankets for a shawl or whatever they're doing.
No debauchery anymore.
No debauchery.
You can't commit a murder anymore because it's going to be caught on camera. I mean, there's so many things you can't do anymore.
And, maybe we're better off pretending that all that stuff never happened because someone's grandparents were probably making sweet, sweet love on that sticky dance floor. And probably the grandkids.
In the sand.
Right.
Yeah.
While Pauly Shore was emceeing the spectacle. And you
God.
probably shouldn't know that about your grandparents. So, I mean, maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
But we're missing out on probably some pretty good Jackalope tales.
Oh, God.
So I want to bring it back just for Jackalope tales.
Oh, man. I would love for some people to submit some of their spring break stories.
Maybe TikTok can have a spring break thing. Because MTV is not MTV anymore, but TikTok's kind of taken their place.
Yeah, that's true.
So TikTok, spring break.
Yep, we got spring break coming up. So
We're going to watch kids play chess and dogs do funny things and this talking goat and some dancing.
and I'm going to cook in the back of my car.
Right. Do some TikTok lives on the beach.
Yes. Oh, the good old days.
Oh, my God. So there's still some of the surviving footage from YouTube, and I think everyone needs to go and look at YouTube and just do a search for MTV Spring Break. And there are not very many bad things said about Spring Break because everyone that was there had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had fun.
Oh, no. Yeah. And they should also look on YouTube, the Toadies Daytona Beach. I think that's how I have it titled.
Yep.
So they can see what we went through.
Because it was crazy. But watch with caution, and you're definitely going to get a little cringe to it.
It was those damn 80s, I'm telling you.
Definitely.
The Reagan era.
So thanks, everybody, for listening. Follow the links on our show notes to find us on the socials.
Subscribe, rate, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and anywhere you get your podcasts.
And please sign our petition to make Willie Nelson's birthday a state holiday. We're running out of time, people. Do this. And join us next time as we question, is it real or is it a jackalope tale?
Excuse me?
Yeah.